Hello everybody, Zeff here with ZeffsTrading, April 18th, 2024. For today, we have our chart lesson review of the daily and the 2000 tick chart. Hope you guys are doing well. Hard price action trading this week. Let me start off by saying, if it's a little hard for the last 2 days, don't be too upset. Price action's been very noisy. A lot of trading ranges, congestion. So this market's pretty hard to trade in right now. Yeah, definitely. As you can see here for the daily chart, we finally hit our outside band. We haven't closed below the band, but we have gotten all the way to it. Got this bigger trend channel made here. We're going to see if it closes outside of it. We're going to see if this thing keeps selling off here. We definitely needed a pullback. Obviously, it was coming. You had your 2B pattern set up right here, and you had an RSI divergence happening for I think almost a month straight on the daily chart. But with this huge run up here, where can we expect this thing to go now? If it does continue to sell off, we finally broke the 20%. Looking for at least the 50% to come down to that 50% retracement. And then if we keep pummeling down the 618, the 786, the usual zones, everybody knows these. I don't think I have to repeat myself for a lot of this stuff. I think you guys know it. But nonetheless, look for your own targets, do your own analysis. That's always the most important thing. Never take one person's word for anything. But nonetheless, this is kind of how I'm just seeing the daily chart. It's a pullback here, obviously. And I think the buyers are still wanting to try to, they want a new high coming up with this market. But something, is turned around here. So we'll see if this thing keeps selling off. We'll see if, they'll print the news to conform to whatever the price action is doing. But on the intraday, we'll trade how we trade, and we'll mark up our daily charts, our hourly charts, and look for those pivot points just in case. Other than that, it's just kind of where I'm seeing the market headed towards. So we'll go for there, looking for a 5,000 mark for tomorrow if this thing does sell off. It's kind of my first major thing. All right, let's go to the 2000 tick chart. Okay, over here at the 2000 tick chart, as you can see, you're probably asking yourself, Zeff, what the heck are you doing? Well, I got Kentler channels on. I'm experimenting with some Kentler channels, seeing how it works here. I'm just trying to get a visual aid, playing around with it, so don't worry about it too much. I'll let you know if I pursue it. But in the middle is going to still be our 21 EMA here, and we still have everything else. But just kind of want to see how price reacts around it. I really like the Kentler channels. I think the mean reversion is quite powerful once it gets to the outer bands, and if you can improve a strategy, you always got to do it. Okay, nonetheless, let's start here. Pre-market, just a dumpster fire here. There's nothing here, just congestion all across the board. But we finally get this sell-off happen right at where market open, 9:30. Just sells off here. You don't really get a chance to get in any of this move down. This is making a fresh low of days, and then 10 minutes later we start trending up, and the market thinks it's going to go up, so we get our we get a first entry, second entry short. We do have a first entry, second entry long, but I'm not sure if, let me zoom in here. I'm not sure if this bar closed low then high then low. This is tempting. Again, you only have room for 4 ticks, so maybe you take that, but I'm not going to mark it. I think it's something we got to pass on here. Get a higher low right here, but again, you got room for a scalp, but this thing could easily just turn back down, and your stop is so far away. It's not really near the EMA here, so I don't really like that trade. Get a move outside of our Kentler channel, come back down, test it, basically get a double top. You get a first entry, pulls back. Look how close this was with a second entry long right there, but never went a tick above it, so we have no setup. Sells off, comes back down to the support here, and then we get a first entry, pulls back, second entry long. Now you got to really understand how to count this thing, because we never did make a new we did make a new high here. We get a double top, so it resets the count, as you can see, to the tick. So you get a first entry, pulls all the way back, second entry long, good signal bar closing on its high. You can see that everyone took a lot of that trade there. Shorts were trying to push it back down, and then a higher low comes. Not a good enough signal bar. Then we push back up. And then you get a first entry, second entry short failure. Nice signal bar right at the EMA. This is what you want to see for the failures if you are trading them. Doesn't get any better than that. Push down. We tried. The bearish move failed. You get a first entry, second entry short. Plenty of room to the highs, and this thing takes off. You get a nice runner there. As we move up and start establishing this upper trend channel, we get a new move up. And you can see how close this is. This is just riding the Kentler channel. That's why I'm experimenting with this. But we get a first entry, second entry long. It's a little congested, a lot of doji bars, but context-wise, with this move still being so powerful, holding above the 21 EMA, I think that's a pretty valid setup to the pullback there. It's enough for a scalp. Let's see if we get our 2 points here. We get exactly to the 2, so it had a tick through. So, maybe go for 6 ticks, especially with this high here of this outside bar. Nonetheless, we start to move up here. We get a first entry, second entry short, fails again. Just don't like this bar. It's a doji bar, and you already had a failure, so it's kind of hard to time them. This thing just rides all the way above the 21 EMA. You get a hidden second entry long here. Again, unfortunately, there's just not many opportunities to get into this nice bullish uptrend the whole way up. You only have 1, 2 valid setups. Now that's all you really need for the day, but we get a pullback. I see this as this is a hidden second entry long, but not a good signal bar or anything like that. So I just see one leg down. I see another leg, and it's again just a first entry. Pulls back. You get a second entry long, but not a good enough signal bar. You can just see these corrections, these 3 to 4 bar corrections here. We get up, we get a new high of day as we are making fresh highs, and then you get a first entry, second entry long, right at the key entry point with a double bottom. And you're sweating here if you're going for 2 points. Let's see here, 25. Yeah, you didn't even get your 4 ticks here. It comes down, you're sweating. Your stop loss is 1 tick underneath. That's why I really like these limit orders. Just 1 or 2 ticks back helps reduce the risk. Gets your stop a little further underneath that signal bar, just in case that wicks through a little bit and then pops back up, which it sometimes does. But nonetheless, you get a nice double bottom, first entry, second entry long, at least to move back up to the highs here, which is enough for 6 to 8 ticks, depending where your order is with that limit order. If you are doing stop orders, then maybe you don't take that trade. Maybe you just wait. Nonetheless, price moves higher. We do get a final break of this channel, so we get a break, new high. That's when you get if you're watching this count here, you get a reset, double bottom. So it's actually 1, 2, 3 triple test here. If this bar was better, I'd say just also enter again and add on to a position. But then you get 2 of these, congested bars right across the board here. Bulls and bears don't know who's winning. You get to move down. So then you get a first entry, second entry short, and it fails. And again, that's a nice failure. It's tried to sell off. First entry, second entry short, tried to sell off. Reversal bar, good signal bar, closing on its high. Take that trade. You're expecting new highs of days. You're going with the trend. And you're especially expecting a new high because you have the break and not a new high yet. And then once you get this, you get a first entry, second entry short. You have your new high, couple legs to a new high, double tops, and major trend reversal starts. I don't see anywhere to get in here, unfortunately. Again, today was very hard to get in, to read the price action, especially live. It took a lot of concentration. But as you can see here, all these blue boxes I'm going to be marking here, it's just congestion. Like, you just got to stay out of it. Even if you're counting these second entries, depending on how you do it, or these failures, I mean, it's too far away from the EMA. You're right at the Kentler channel. You're right at the trend channel. It's so hard to predict. You have no reliability with the setups. So you have to just skip all of these, which is sometimes hard to do. I understand. You can still draw your moves down, break, new high. Expect at least to move back up. Maybe look for a second entry short here. You get a hidden second entry short, but unfortunately just nothing to be able to take here. Even the signal bar is not that good up at the trend channel. Get a correction, and then you get a move up. Fails, breaks, new low, and just chop sideways here. And then I saw this one. I saw a first entry, second entry short, and then I also saw this higher low. And once this outside bar closed above, traps all the bulls who are long with their stop one tick underneath. You get a first entry, second entry short, but your stop has to be all the way up here. So where do you have to do it? You got to drop a limit order. And it's a lot harder with such trending markets here. That's exactly 2 points. So you might have to risk 9 or 10 ticks on this to get your maybe 8 to 10 ticks, depending on how you set this up. Again, very hard price action. ATR is big. Your stop loss is big. Your scalp is hard because we're at support constantly because the bars are so big. Hard day. So maybe you just skip all of these. But nonetheless, this is a visual, clear first entry, second entry short at the EMA, and you have a 1, 2, 3 triple test across the board here. Just make sure you got room to get out. Sometimes I would switch to days like this, even though the ATR is so big. When it gets hard like this, scalp for 4 ticks, and then just walk away. Get a little bit of profit, and just walk away. That's all you can do. Anyways, you can see all the bull stops get hit. Boom, sells right off. Move back up. Bulls try to get long again. Boom, sells off. As you can see, and then this is when it just starts going all the way down the Kettler channel at the bottom of this band here. And again, unfortunately, you get a first entry, second entry short, so far away from the EMA, not a clear setup. You're going right into the Kettler channel, right into the trend, bottom of the channel. There's support there. Like you can't know when there's support, if it'll fall through, if it won't fall through. And it's just hard to get into this. And then your stop is all the way up here. Just hard to get in. It's really, really hard to get in. I can't emphasize that enough. I just don't see anything in here. You get a first entry, second entry long, third entry long, and it fails. You don't know this. You don't know it's going to sell off. It's just congestion. It's just multiple overlapping bars. Resets the high. You get a first entry, second entry long. These are more reliable, if anything, once you're counting, because you can basically clearly see the high, first entry, second entry long, failure. Again, you're at the bottom of the range here. You don't know when this thing's going to just trap, sell, and go right back up. And then again, there's an argument to be made that just go with the trend. But it's hard to do real time sometimes, especially when you're at the bottom. And this thing just keeps selling off and such big bars. Excuse me. Okay, then we get a first entry. Nothing comes down here. Let's see. You get a first entry, second entry long, resets the count. First entry. Yeah, see, there's just nowhere to get in here. Then it kind of bottoms out finally. Where? Bottoms out at the, goes through the 50-50 a little bit, all the way down to 50-40. 50-41, 50. Pauses. And I think people realized as the price was going lower, that the momentum was running out here. So what happens? Outside the Kettler channel, clearly, as you can see, we finally get our break. Then we get a first entry, pulls up, second entry short. This bar broke higher. You get a first entry, pulls out. This bar is your second entry short, but then once you get this bar ticked higher, as you can see, let me zoom in here. That bar ticked higher and then closed. That's a lower high. So you have a first entry, second entry short, lower high to confirm that this move back down to the EMA is probable. With that being said, that's a nice trade right there. A room for only a scalp, maybe 6 ticks, 4 ticks, depending on how you play it. Just kind of how it is for today. New high, never broke a new high. So you have a first entry, pulls back, second entry long, and it fails. You're still expecting this move to make a new low with this break of this channel. And with such a bearish move down, constant bearishness, you're not looking to go long here. You're looking to go short. It's hard to flip the switch sometimes with that on your mindset. And you really got to be counting and looking for clear 2-leg moves or clear triple tests, the failures. So I'm going to mark this one black because it's a failure. And also you can clearly just kind of see the bear flag there as well. So nonetheless, sells off, tries to make a new low, gets, I think, a tick away there, rallies back up, get a move up, and sells off. Then we get a first entry, second entry long. It fails. Bearish bar closing all the way on its low almost. No body, but you're still expecting a new low for this break of this channel and down. You finally get it, and right when you get it, where does it go? Rallies right back up. You get a first entry, pulls back, second entry short. Now this becomes a little bit advanced for people because you're counting and it's a little hard sometimes. I'm going to explain this, so pay attention. When you have a move, a break, new low, and then it turns into a trading range, you're looking to sell the top, buy the bottom. Okay? And it's extremely important to understand on how to count the trends. You have a move up. This is all one move up. This is a move down. This is a move up. It has visually you can see two legs to a new high. Once that happens, and you can now count and be proper with your count. First entry, second entry short, resets the count. First entry, pulls back, second entry short. That's how you do it. And you have a break and new high. You're now expecting at the top of the trading range, the break and new high, you're expecting a move back down. And what do you get? You get a double top across the board here. We're outside of the Kentler channel. That's why I'm experimenting with this. Once the bars close outside of it, just go back and look on how crazy it is with the mean reversion. I'm sure some of these major, hedge funds or whatever they use a lot of mean reversion strategy. I've kind of researched that a little bit. That's why price always kind of comes back to where it's been. Nonetheless, I digress. I won't get into that right now. It's important to count uptrend, break, new high. This is just such a clear, perfect example. You have a first entry, second entry short. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. And then you have a lower high as well. So in a count, you could say 1, 2, 3, or double top, triple test, first entry, second entry short. This doesn't get any more clear than that. Once you see these, you basically just size up. You increase your contract size because this does not happen very often. It doesn't get more picture perfect than this. And you can really make some good profits here. So nonetheless, you get a first entry, second entry short, lower high, triple test, double top. All of those good contexts are helping us trade the pattern. And it sells right back off. Where does it stop? Previous day's low. Thing acts as a magnet. Pauses. You can get a two visual legged move back. A, B, C. And come back to the bottom of the range here. This is just a trading range. And you can extend this across the board here if you want. Now we're getting into the last hour of the day. So it gets pretty noisy. I just don't see anything else to get into for the rest of the day. Market closes. And, I'm sorry. Yeah, my apologies. I scrolled a little too far. We get a move down, bottom of the range, it goes up. And you can just see how noisy it is. I mean, it's just pure congestion across the board here. Stem everywhere, wicks everywhere. Don't get into this. Looking for something more clear. You start making higher highs and you start making higher lows. And then you get a first entry, second entry long. If you don't like that double bottom second entry long, there's a triple test right here. Drop a limit order for sure, back at least at the 21 EMA to reduce your risk a little bit. This is such a huge bar, you've really got to know what you're doing. But you can clearly see there's a trading range here, buy low, sell high, with a slight upward drift with price holding above the 21 EMA. And then market closes here, basically. These are aggressive setups. I should make these black. This is at the end of the day. These aren't exactly ones you want to take. You really got to know what you're doing here. Maybe the second entry long is definitely worth it, but you're right. You're trading one tick above the 21 EMA, so you got to be very careful. So again, these are very aggressive trades. But overall, if you know how to assess your risk by doing limit orders, and you get filled, and those usually work really well. Then you can clearly see it channels up, stays above the 21 EMA, get really close to the Kentler channel, and you get a new low here with this outside bar. First entry, second entry short. At the top of this trend channel, this thing just sells right off. I like that trade because you also have basically a visual move down of 1, 2, and you're looking for the third move down. So this is just a wedge, maybe on probably on a 5-minute time frame as well. That's something advanced for the like the Al Brooks wedge patterns and everything like that. And you're pretty far away from the 21 EMA. Nice bearish bar. This thing sells off, goes right back to the bottom of the previous day's low. Then it just chops sideways. Then you get a move down. You just get a bear flag here, as you can see. This is all, after the market closes. But some of you guys trade that, so that's how it is. Anyways, yeah, what a day. What a day. Very hard price action. Some of the trades are a little iffy. I was hesitant to mark some of them. Not sure. I'm not very confident in the last 2 days of trading. They've been very difficult. But nonetheless, I'm trying to reduce risk, get as many high-quality setups as possible, and then stop trading. The news events have been pretty hard as well. I'm sure a lot of you have been affected by it, and you might be a little struggling lately. I know I am. But nonetheless, days like this, we just got to remind ourselves to take it off, close the program, come back tomorrow, and just try to take the good trades, because that's all it's about. Just taking the good trades, stopping when you're ahead, and then coming back the next day. Hope you guys enjoyed this chart review. Hopefully tomorrow's a little bit better. We'll see how it is. And then if not, as always, I'll be here next week. If you have any questions, comments, shoot them in the comment section below. Shoot me an email. And consider joining our Discord if you're interested. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.